Excited to get this week going. I have no idea what day it is, but we're really excited to have the opportunity to play in one of the best rivalry games, just like we talked about last night. This is a awesome game, great opponent. They're playing really well. They're number one in the MAC, and we're going to have to give our best efforts and to give ourselves a chance to win this one. But they're good, and really excited about the opportunity to play in this game. I know our players and coaches are excited for the opportunity.
You mentioned last night that you followed this rivalry as a kid. Are there any memories that stand out and just kind of expand on just the significance of being part of this rivalry?
No, I remember always watching the Kent-Akron game, just living 5 minutes from Akron, and then the Toledo Bowling Green game, and then obviously the Michigan and Ohio State game. Loved watching that, and then back in the day whenever Michigan played Notre Dame, those were the ones that I always remember watching, and great games, great tradition, so very excited to watch or to be a part of this one.
Obviously, there's a lot of transfers on this team, a lot of first-year BGSU players that are playing a lot. Is it hard to get them to buy into this rivalry? Do they kind of understand just how much this rivalry means? How do you kind of talk to them about that?
Yeah, just like I'm sure Jason does up in Toledo. We talk about this every day. This is it's a big game for both programs. That's why it's a rivalry game, and I know they emphasize it, we emphasize it, and that's why this game's special. Both teams are working 365 days a year to play in this and to perform well. So, yeah, it's an exciting rivalry game, and that's what makes college football awesome.
The tight end position obviously is so important in your offense, and Harold's really thrived, out of the backfield, taking direct snaps, screen passes down the field. Just what does it say about his versatility and skill level to affect the game in so many different ways?
Yeah, Harold is the actual perfect player that we're looking for at that hybrid position. He can play a lot. He can play with his hand in the dirt. He can play in the backfield. He can play at the wide receiver position. That's I think what everyone's looking for. Everyone's trying to play out of 12 personnel, but have the ability to play in 10 personnel with those same people, have the ability to play in 21 personnel. It just gives you a ton of versatility, gives you a lot of opportunity for a lot of different formations. So, yeah, Harold is picture perfect for what we're looking for at that position.
For him to have two of his best games in the BGSU jersey the last 2 weeks with everything going on with him, just what does that say just about how tough he is to be able to perform well and everything like that?
Yeah, I think first off, he's got good teammates and good coaches around him that support him, and obviously he's had a tough time since the time we recruited him with his sister's health. And then obviously last week or 2 weeks ago was not easy. But he had a bunch of really good people in our program, from our support staff to our coaches to our players, that really did a good job rallying around him, and we'll continue to do that. That's the one thing that very fortunate to have around here is we've got good people that care about each other, and we generally rally pretty good around each other whenever we're struggling.
Last week I said that this Friday would be your Saturday. I meant it to be
Yeah.
Tuesday. We don't know what day.
I have no idea.
But you technically lose a day preparing for a rivalry game. How do you handle the Battle of I-75 on a short week?
Yeah, I probably, I know Jason agrees with this. I really wish this thing was on Saturday and it had a full week of preparation, but obviously him and I don't make the schedules. It's way above our pay grade, but I wish it was a regular 7-day week. I would assume he would agree. And we really wish this thing was on Saturday. I think we've only played one on Saturday since I've been here. And it was just an unbelievable atmosphere. It's what college football looks like. And it's good for the Toledo businesses. It's good for the Bowling Green businesses. But, we had a great crowd up there at Toledo last year. They had a great crowd. We brought a lot of people up there, and I'm hoping that this stadium is full of brown and orange and Toledo's colors, so it'd be great.
To illustrate the grind of action, what time did you get back here last night? What time did you get back in the office?
I didn't. We got here at Damaris, 2:30, something of that. Finally fell asleep around 3:30, and I just stayed here. So that's normally what everyone does in these short weeks.
Illustrates it even more. Okay.
Yeah.
Status of Terrion and Tehran?
Yeah. Both of them will be game time decisions. We'll see where we're at with them. Hopefully get Jordan back also. Trent Sims will not play in this game. He's got a knee that hopefully we can get back during bowl prep and for our bowl game. But we'll make a decision on both backs here at the end of the week or beginning of the week, whatever it is. End of our week.
Dontrez Brown, Fremont Ross kid, and one of the top recruits when he first got here. What did you see in him when he was coming out of high school?
Yeah, he's an awesome kid now. Great parents. Lost his father a couple years back, I think right during the COVID era, which was really devastating. He was an unbelievable person in the Fremont Ross community. Did a great job with a bunch of kids. But Dontrez comes from great stock, very good parents, and a very good family. Obviously, I think he's like a 3.8 student here. He's done an unbelievable job in school. Very good football player, but he's like the picture-perfect student athlete. I mean, he's really a great young man that plays good football and is a great teammate.
How reliable? You talked about the availability being an ability. I mean, he's been there for you guys quite often. And how big of an impact has he made when he is on the field?
Yeah, he's a good player. You feel him, and he's a prototypical MAC kid that's developed and is really developed into a really good player. And you feel him and Hawk. I mean, those guys are vets. I hope to goodness we can continue, and we're going to try to recruit high school kids because, I mean, those guys have been in our program for so long, and we were able to develop them. And we're going to continue to, I know we got to adapt and adjust to the portal. I get all that, but I think we've taken more high school kids in this upcoming class than we ever have. We've taken a bunch of Ohio kids, Michigan kids, and Indiana, Pennsylvania. So we want to keep building this thing with our local talent.
What did you think of the running backs last night, and how that might help you this week if you don't have Stewart and Keith?
Yeah, I thought everyone played well. We put Harold back there to run the ball even a little bit, and we're going to find creative ways. With Terrion being out, that's normally $1.50 that you've got to make up, and he's a really good football player. He's hard to tackle, so we had to find different ways to make up for the yardage that we lost with Terrion. And I thought TK played superb. What is he? I think the first back to ever have 100 yards rushing and 100 yards in receptions. I thought OJ played well. Abdul did some really good things. Austin's always Mr. Reliable. And Harold was Harold. And I thought Finn played well. I thought we had just a lot of guys that contributed, and that's what we're going to have to do one way or the other. Even if Terrion's playing or not, we've got to have to rely on everyone to do their part in this one because they're an excellent football team.
With Connor and Camden, is there kind of scenarios or situations during a game where it kind of dictates who would be on the field, or how do you kind of gauge that?
Yeah, we've got different packages that both of them are running. We think it makes the defense prepare for a lot of things, which is a positive. There's some plays that both of them will use in a game, but there's some specific things that we have both of them doing, and it's a feel deal. Like, for example, in the Georgia Tech game, we planned on playing Cam a little bit more, and Connor was hot, and it's pretty hard to take out a guy that's hot. But regardless, if Connor's on fire or not, you're going to see Cam. We've got things that we want to do with Cam that we think stresses the defense. And he brings juice, he brings energy, leadership. So I'm excited to have both of those guys. They're really doing their part, and that's not easy to do, but it's worked. And we're going to continue to do that.
Odu surpassed 1,000 receiving yards at BHE. You know, what has he kind of meant to the program? Obviously, the last few weeks, you know, not really racking up tons of receptions, but just kind of what has he been like, you know, these past few weeks, and then kind of nice to see him.
Yeah, both him and Abdul have been banged up all year long, and last week in practice we started seeing both of them come back to life in terms of health. So we're going to need them in these next two games. Obviously, OJ had a ridiculous game last year, and it's going to take our very best performance out of all the guys that step on the field in order to give ourselves a chance against Toledo.
Obviously, there's a lot that stands out about Toledo. Just what's the one thing that maybe in your eyes stands out the most about the team that's on a 9-game winning streak?
Well, I think they're physical on both sides of the ball, great skill players, great defensive front and offensive front. They're just solid, really good football team, and there's a reason that they've won 9 straight games. And, you know, in this, we've got to be on point. We've got to have a great plan, and we got to do a great job of protecting the ball. If we turn the football over, we won't have a chance. We need to protect the ball and do a great job with the ball. And I don't know the percentages, but I can promise you the games that we've screwed up here this past year, it was Liberty, Miami, and OU, and those were all turnover catastrophes, to say the least. So we need to make sure we protect the ball and find a way to make some explosion plays. We've got to be great on special teams. We've got to be phenomenal. And go out and play our very best game and have some fun and enjoy the rivalry. And it's always awesome. It's a clean, hard-hitting game. It's fun. And I know our players, and I know their players and coaches and our coaches. We just look forward to the opportunity to play in this game.
Curious over the course of your coaching career, Coach, about playing in rivalry games and kind of both sides of the coin. One, treated like any other game versus treated like it's the only game. What has been the most successful philosophy or approach?
Well, every game's important, especially in college football. I mean, they're all important. Everyone means something. But you would be crazy to say or think that the Ohio State-Michigan game is just a normal game. The Florida State game, just a normal game. The Alabama-Auburn game, they're not. And that's the same thing with the Toledo Bowling Green game. It is not just a normal game, and we don't approach it that way whatsoever. This is a big game. It's a big game for our program. It's a big game for their program. That's why the fans love it, and they're just fun to play in. I mean, I don't know what it is. They're just awesome. I love playing in rivalry games. And I know our staff and our players love it. And just like I said, I've been fortunate to be a part of some really, really good ones.
Preached consistency or lack thereof and the up and down nature during your tenure here, or just when it comes to wins and losses. You've won 4 games in a row for the first time during your tenure here.
Yeah.
Can you put your finger on what you guys have been able to be consistent at during this winning streak?
Turnovers. I mean, that's huge. the turnover battle is absolutely huge. Focus, attention to detail, being able to dial in at that moment. It's a challenge right now. It's a challenge for everyone, just like I said, to keep these guys to worry about the now rather than let's worry about the future, worry about what happened in the past. Those are challenges right now, and it's not like whenever you and I were in school, we just had to deal with one newspaper, ESPN. We got to play at 12 o'clock and 3:30, and that was it. Now it's constant. It's in your hand constantly. You're hearing noise constantly. So, blocking out that noise and focusing on what you need to do is challenging. I think we've done a better job with that, but at the end of the day, it's been the turnovers.
How do you guys generate turnovers versus the UT offense?
Well, that's a challenge. They've got good football players. We've got to swarm to the football. We've got to gang tackle. There's no such thing as having a one-on-one tackle with these guys. They can make you miss and go score. So we need to do a great job of gang tackling, running to the football, play with passion, and obviously have great gap integrity. We've got to maintain our gaps and don't jump outside the gap because they'll beat you in a minute if you're not gap sound.
I know the focus is now, and that's Battle of I-75, but how does it feel to be bowl eligible for a second year straight?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, no question about it. We'll worry about that in a couple weeks. It was great last night. It's an accomplishment, but we've got to be laser focused on our task at hand here, and it's about the battle of the I-75 trophy and going to play against a super football team. So it's going to be fun. Just like I said, I'm hoping that this place is packed and could have just a really good college football game.
This will be your fifth time playing Toledo. For you personally, what does the rivalry mean to you?
Just like I said, growing up in Northeast Ohio, I followed it, and now obviously being here, you realize how important it is on both sides. It's like divided families, People went to Toledo, people went to Bowling Green. It's 25 minutes up the road. We recruit the same kids. It's just a great game. And just like I said, I appreciate the history with it. And I think there's a difference between one game. I think wins, losses, right now, I believe. So obviously, whenever it's that close and that divided in terms of Toledo's won a heck of a lot of games and Bowling Green's won a heck of a lot of these games. So it's just a great rivalry, plain and simple.
You have a family that's divided on this team similarly. What is the message to him this
Oh
weekend?
gosh, I love the Zimmerly family. They're great kids, and we wish we had them both here, but that's going to be an interesting deal, to say the least. So I haven't had too many of those before where a kid's playing on Ohio State and Michigan or vice versa. So I don't know. You could ask Cade, but I can imagine that Thanksgiving isn't going to be very comfortable one way or the other. So we'll see.
At the beginning of the season, it might have been hard for the rest of the team to adapt to having two different quarterbacks, but do you think throughout the season, them getting enough touches with both Cam and Connor, has that helped the consistency?
Yeah, just like I said, I don't think, besides the focus things, I think the thing that got us off kilter a little bit, we didn't start off well against Liberty. We didn't play well. We were all shocked, to be quite honest with you, offensively, how poorly we played, just because of how well we played in training camp. We were really concerned about how we were defensively, because, our offense really played well during training camp. And what got us off kilter a little bit was going to Ann Arbor, and we paid for that. We played well in the first half, but we paid for it significantly. We had a ton of injuries, lost one of our best defensive ends. the quarterbacks, I mean, you name it. Harold, we lost Harold. I mean, it was Levi. We just got really beat up from that game, and it's taken a while for us to recover. And, I'm sure they're beat up right now. We're beat up. That's just part of it. It's week, 11 right now. And you got to go out. People got to step up. And the guys that are beat up got to play well, put their bumps and bruises aside and go play good football. And I'm sure they're in the same boat just like we are.